Hey y'all, so the past few days or past few hours have been dramatic, hasn't it? That's an understatement. uh, so apparently there's been a barrage, about 59 missiles hitting the Shayrat air base in Syria and Homs. Uh, I'm sure all of you know about this right now, anyway. I mean, it's been everywhere. Like, not even Obama had this much trust, and he did much more than what Trump just did. uh, but yeah, I can understand the reason why people are so black-pilled about this, but when you think of that, it's a lot more. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things in play that kind of puts a different set of options. Uh, it's not as simple as saying that Trump is fully neocon now, or if he's then sold this bill of goods about children dying in Syria. I think there's two options. It could be that. It could be a total fuck up, and I don't think that's the case. Only because there's so many elements to this thing that I know it's kind of hard to hear it, but it could be something that Trump is doing to help himself get his more domestic programs passed, his domestic projects passed, I should say. Interesting enough, there's things that don't feel exactly right. And it's not just because, we went into a different country, that's then. It's easy to be black-pilled about this, but it may not be as bad as we think. Granted, we should still keep them accountable for this. We don't want to be involved in other countries. But it could be a strategic action. And I think this will, in order to get things done, you kind of have to play ball a little bit with the neocons and the liberals, and they're just happy about this. But more to that, Trump obviously did this in a way to make it look like he's being strong, but he did things in a way that made the least damage. And on principle, it smells bad, but I'll just show you a couple things that I found interesting. Let me pull them up real quick. So I can't find the article for this, but let me zoom in a bit, see if this helps. Just in, Syrian airplanes or warplanes take off from the airbase hit by U.S. to carry out strikes in Homs countryside. It's on the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. And it's on the Reuters. I looked at their website, but I couldn't find any in-depth articles about this, but it's on their Twitter. But I think before we get too black-tailed about this, I think we should really be kind of skeptical about the whole situation. Like, yeah, this doesn't look good with Russia, but thinking about this, I don't think there's going to be any pattern. I don't think this is going to be a World War III scenario. Another thing I found, this is also from Reuters. Russia said that Moscow visit by U.S. Tillerson scheduled for next week. A visit to Moscow by U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson on the agenda for the coming week. Interfax news agency cited the Russian foreign industry spokeswoman as saying on Friday. Maria Zakharova said the ministry expected Tillerson to explain Washington's stance in light of the U.S. missile strike on Syria. That didn't come from Moscow, and and tell what strange things they did, she said, according to Interfax. So likely this is going to be blown over. I think it's the most likely scenario. If not, yeah, I would be along you guys as far as dumping Trump. I don't think it's quite time to freak out about this thing quite yet. It's scary, it's uneasy, it's unnerving, and it looks like he's colluding, but there may be more to this than we expect. I'm thinking this is sort of a bargaining chip, but it's virtually meaningless in its applications. I mean, the missiles themselves probably cost more than the damage there. But, yeah, if it comes to aiding the rebels in there and any of that shit, I'm totally off the Trump train. But for now, I kind of have to give them the benefit of the doubt because the situation is so strange. And there does seem to be some reasons to give him the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, yes, just kind of adding some sanity here. You know, last night I was the same way. I was kind of freaking out here. What the fuck did happen? But we'll have to find out in the future what happens, because this may be a temporary setback. That is actually just to help us. There are different kind of gains in the future. Whatever it may be, I don't know, but my guess is this is more for domestic points than there are for international points. But the damage done is meant to be minimized, and like I said, it seems to be that there's still warplanes coming off on there, so I think it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's more of a show of force than it is an actual attack. I mean, it's an actual attack, but it's not to cause the most damage, it's just to show what we are capable of, and a reminder. And, you know, this could also, it looks like it's aiding the rebels right now, but we don't even know that, you know, the rebels should know that the US can actually do this damage to them. And, I don't know. I mean, I just have to remain cautiously optimistic about this, because jumping off the Trump train too quickly, I don't know. It's just my feelings on this. Yes, it's a concerning situation, but let's just hope and pray that it turns out to be something that passes over, because who knows. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Oh, and I apologize for not making any videos yesterday. My town's tower went out, so I didn't have power to record anything. I was just kind of keeping warm after the snow, and kind of went out of town just to get out of the house a bit. So anyway, that's all. Take care.